Hey, welcome to a look at our collection of the WIZ. We're going to be talking about the WIZ this hour, and this is Mark Baum from the All Things Oz Museum, one of the only two museums in the nation to have a permanent WIZ exhibit. And one of the things I wanted to make sure you saw was this poster. The WIZ went on its first national tour after its Broadway success, and the first stop was the Curran Theater in San Francisco. Now, the Curran Theater out front only has one space, or had at the time, one space for a 3-sheet poster, which is the size of this one. And this is the original 3-sheet poster from that tour. Enjoy. Okay, maybe we started too far ahead. If you want to know the story of the WIZ, or at least the WIZ as it exists in the world of the All Things Oz Museum, it really starts here. This album cover, actually, that you're looking at, the album is inside. Trust me on that one. The album cover that you're looking at is signed by Charlie Smalls in the top right, and in 2012, Andre DeShields also signed it, which was very exciting because I had had this album in my private collection for some years. In fact, in 1976, I saw the WIZ on Broadway for the very first time. And it was my very first Broadway show. My grandmother brought me. She was not a big fan, but I loved it. From the tornado scene on, I was totally smitten with the WIZ. The choreography, the lights, the music, the dancing, everything about it hit just right. And it's a story that's familiar, yet different. It's the story of the WIZ. Alright, so to go back even further than the album cover, here are some production photos. These are rehearsal photos of the WIZ getting ready to go to stage, and that's a really great shot of Andre and the cast there in rehearsals, which I just love. There's another album cover, the original cast album, featuring Ease On Down the Road and the Tornado. This was after it had already got a little bit of a hit quality. And then you see Andre and the team. This picture, I think, is from opening night, 1975 at the Majestic Theater, January 5th. And then there's the cast for credits. This is a later production. This might be the 76 production, which was the one that I was at. Okay, if you've never seen the musical The WIZ, you're in for a little bit of a treat. We have some footage we're going to share with you, some clips from the 40th anniversary celebration that took place at Central Park and at Marcus Garvey Park. This is from the Marcus Garvey Park celebration up in Harlem, and it was awesome. Some original cast members from the Broadway production of The WIZ joined some new up-and-coming actors, and they put on this production that was amazing, that had original choreography from the show in it. This is a piece of The WIZ.
But I know I'm gonna make it this time. Yes, I know I'm gonna make it this time. I was born and here so far away. I had 3 rubber bands, 4 plus a hand, and a suit that hadn't thrown away. get woke and gone. And you won't have to hook up the rest on your own. And you know what I think about that?
So the musical was awesome, and the 40th anniversary was awesome also. The national tour was awesome. The second national tour was awesome. Andre DeShields, when he performs now, is still awesome. That being said, there was a movie version that came out in 1978. The movie version was, well, different. It was different. It was grittier. It tried to show a more urban underworld of the city, if you will. And it was all right. The critics did not all think it was spectacular, but the music certainly was. Let's hear a little more about that.
On October 24th, 1978, Broadway's Tony-winning Best Musical, The Wiz, hit the silver screen with an ambitious adaptation helmed by director Sidney Lumet. The sensational songs and all-star cast, led by Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, along with some of the Broadway originators reprising their roles, promised to awe. But while much of the film was creative in concept, it was less than dazzling in delivery. The design of Oz here and Diana's weak, quick-to-cry depiction of Dorothy detrimentally alters the film's timing and theme. As an Oz fan, the Wiz movie is one that I love and sometimes love to hate. It's not as marvelous as the original stage production, but any chance to go to Oz and hear some of musical theater's most fantastic songs is a great time, so get ready to ease on down to The Wiz.
Well, The Wiz went on to do 1,642 performances on Broadway, and then has been licensed to be performed all over the world in high schools and colleges and community theaters and professional theaters thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Here's just a few clips from ones around here. Also, we want to show you some behind-the-scenes photos of Andre from the festival and some of his meet and greets when he wasn't on stage. So enjoy. So here's Andre DeShields with Christy Knowlton practicing for the event that evening, and this was the first time they rehearsed together. It was a few hours before the event, so it was great that they got to get together. Christy is a local music teacher, and we're so thankful for her to accompany Andre on stage. And there they are right before the show with Andre in his costume and Christy ready to go. Here's a picture of Andre signing the aforementioned WIZ album that we talked about. There's me in my silly little Oz shirt there. And there's Andre in the parade, stopping to answer some questions at the grandstand. And here's another picture of Andre. This is with Merle Frymark on the left there, who's his agent, his publicist. And you can see them ready to sign autographs. And here he is earlier in the day signing at the high school. And I think that's Bill Beam, if I'm not mistaken, getting his autograph from Andre right there. Also, here's a great picture of Andre DeShields and Gregory Maguire. Of course, Gregory wrote the book Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, which the musical Wicked is based upon. He's written 4 books in that series, and it was neat to see the two of them together. And then here's Andre with some other people. Oh, on the left, that's Paul Miles Schneider, the author of the Silver Shoes series of books. So that's fun. And there's another picture of Paul and Andre, this time with Andre in his full 1975 WIZ costume. And then here you've got some Oz royalty. It's Robert Baum, L. Frank Baum's great-grandson. Of course, Andre DeShields, The Wiz. There's Karen Marsh-Dahl in the middle, who was Judy Garland's stand-in the 1939 film. You've got Margaret Pellegrini on the bottom right, who was the Flower Pot Munchkin, and Myrna Swenson, the Munchkin by marriage, on the left. So that's a neat group to have together there. There's another picture of Andre and Gregory, this time both of them dressed up for the evening performances. And then here's a great picture of Andre with the ladies, with Myrna and Margaret, and they had a lot of fun together. And then here's Andre on stage. You know, he came out and he wowed the audience. First, he sang So You Wanted to Meet the Wizard, and then he sat down and did an interview with John Fricke, which was amazing. John is an Oz historian and just really gets the best out of people. And we learned that John actually went on opening night to see the WIZ and did the review for the International Wizard of Oz Club. So that was kind of cool learning from that evening. Andre talked about the WIZ and all the fun he had on Broadway and on the tours, and just how that character is so iconic. And then he closed the show by singing If You Believe. So it was really a magical, magical night. Now, this was the super awesome part of the presentation where we were going to spend 15-20 minutes with Ken Page, who played the lion in the original Broadway production of The Wiz on Broadway. He took over. He was actually the third lion in the production. And you may know Ken from playing the lion or from playing Old Deuteronomy in Cats. And this was spectacular in every way. We were so excited. Here's the screenshot. Unfortunately, the entire video and audio portion of this is gone. The nice people at Zoom could not get it back for us. It's there, but it plays at like 5 times speed, and you can't slow it down. We've tried everything. Thanks to Jane Albright for all the time and energy she spent working with Zoom to try and get this right. So there's a picture of Ken, and we're going to show some more pictures of Ken when he was here, and maybe we'll have a little clip for you later, too. So here's a picture of Ken in the convertible in the parade, and let's face it, you're still upset about not having the video interview. I am too. Here's what we got. I will tell you, a little of it came out in the very beginning, and then as soon as we start talking about the WIZ, it goes nuts. So, okay, here's the sneak peek of what would have been a great interview with Ken Page. By the way, he's delightful, and he wishes his best for everyone out there in Ozland. We're getting you in on, but I think we're good to go here.
Okay.
For the record, I'm wearing my Wizard of Oz shirt.
Yes, yes.
I want to be ready. But,
and forgive my being so unshaven, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Me too. This is my COVID clean shaven.
Yes, I feel you.
Every few days I think about it. And
right. I said tomorrow I'll shave. Today I wasn't shaving.
I feel like if I have a big meeting at my work, you know, where I have to show up on video or something, I'll shave and let it go.
Well, I thought to myself for a minute, I thought, oh my God, damn, how bad do I look? I thought, it's fine, it's fine. Hey,
you look wonderful. You look wonderful.
Well, I look like I'm ready to do a voodoo ceremony.
So there you go. We talk about the WIZ and his other iconic roles, playing Nicely in Guys and Dolls in the Broadway revival, or Fats Waller in Ain't Misbehavin', or Old Deuteronomy in Cats, or King Gator in All Dogs Go to Heaven, or Oogie Boogie in Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was wonderful, and hopefully we'll get to talk to Ken again and bring that to everybody. In the meantime, here's a great picture of him and his ambassador, Colleen Baldwin, from the festival, and then there's a picture of Ken with the Syracuse Nerd shirt. The Syracuse Nerd guys came by, and they got a pic of Ken with the shirt they gave him. And there's Ken and Myrna Swenson, Munchkin by marriage Myrna. And there's a great picture of Ken. Oh, he's with Emma Ridley, royalty, Oz royalty, Princess Ozma from Return to Oz, and of course a cardboard cutout of Judy. And there's Ryan J. from Ryan J. Reviews there. And then here he is on stage with John Fricke. It was a great evening. And at one point in time, somebody asked Ken, you've played all these iconic roles, and what's the one role that you haven't played that you'd like to? And oddly enough, he picked Tevier from Fiddler on the Roof, and then broke into an impromptu a cappella song from the show. It was really something to see. All right, moving on. The Wiz, like I said, it has several incarnations. The Wiz Live happened a few years ago. They recast it, and they brought in a bunch of fun people. One of the fun facts here is David Alan Grier is in as the Lion, and Queen Latifah is in as the Wiz, and of course those two were Uncle Henry and Aunt Em in Muppet Wizard of Oz. So they've actually done the Wizard of Oz thing before with a bunch of Muppets, so that's fun. And now on to the collection. So first, you have to see this picture. This is from 2012. This is our mayor at the time in Chittenango, Ronnie Goyer, giving the key to the city, or the key to the village, to Andre DeShields. So way before he won his Tony Award last year for Hadestown, he got the key to Chittenango. Next, this is a picture of Barb Evans, who was our first president at the foundation. She has since retired, and myself and Andre, and he is presenting us with the glasses from the Wiz. These are the original Emerald City glasses, and we were really super excited to have them. This is the old museum, and there's a little clearer picture of us with the glasses right there, and that's exciting. And fun behind the scenes fact about this, I was down at the park that day. I was not working at the museum. I was down in Ostravaganza Park, and I was sweaty and gross and in my t-shirt and shorts, and Andre said he's not giving the glasses until I'm there. So I had to come up from the park to the museum, and there's the glasses, and here's some nice shots of them. There they are, bedazzled before bedazzling was a thing, and there's only a couple of the gems missing on these, so they've held up very well since 1975. And it's just wonderful to have these in the collection. We're so excited to have original props like this that we have throughout the museum, but this from the Wiz is really spectacular, and we have it in the case right in front of pictures of Andre, so it's really spectacular in every way, and we're happy to be able to share it. Okay, this is the one that got away. This is actually a Kaleida headset from the Portland Opera. They did the Wiz a few years ago, and they were going to send that to us, and it never arrived. We followed up a couple times, and it just never made it here, so I don't know what exactly happened with that. Here's a picture of our old Wiz case. This was from 2016, and you can see we've got the Wiz sign there, and Andre and Ken both all featured up there. And there's our little teeny tiny case that everything was in, and we had a collection that far outspaced the case that we had, so we had to go to a bigger case, which we do eventually, so that's the good news. And there's a picture of the even smaller case that was a temporary case for it before we decided what to do with it. All right, so here you go. You can see some of the things in there. Of course, there's the record album that we've talked about several times. There's some cast photos in there. And those three pictures behind the glasses, those are promotional pictures of Andre. The first one on the left is a promotional photo. The one in the center is a good shot of Andre in rehearsals. And the one on the right is from opening night, January 5th, 1975, where he walks on the stage, extends his arms, and says, "So you wanted to meet the wizard?" And he's got those green glasses on, and that's the scene that those glasses made their debut on Broadway, and now they're in our case. Okay, there's a lot of cool things in the bottom shelf of this display case. And again, this is the old display case. I'm going to show you the new exhibit at the end of this presentation. But on the left there, you'll see there's the WIZ ad for the movie that's in a magazine, and that's kind of cool, from 1978. And then below that is the pin that they had at the movie theaters showing the WIZ. Then you've got a couple playbills. You've got, from top left, you've got them going around. You've got a regional theater playbill. Then you've got the Broadway playbill, and then you've got the Performing Arts Center playbill on the left, which is signed by a few cast members. And then on the bottom right, that yellow one that's kind of in the center of the case, that is the playbill from a European version from, I think that one's from Denmark, but pretty cool. And then over to the right, of course, there's the big red Andre DeShields cast t-shirt. All the cast t-shirts were green, except Andre's favorite color is red, so they made him one in red. On the top of that, you'll see Ken Page's autographed picture of him in the lion costume. That's the only known picture of him in the lion costume. We've scoured and scoured, and so has Ken, and that's the only one that we found. There's a couple little pictures from the playbill of him, and that's it. On the left, just below the shirt with the clip there, is the backstage pass for Andre, and then on the right is the Encore magazine playbill for the national tour of the WIZ. So some really neat things there, and you can see the top shelf just a little bit. We're going to look at that a little closer in a second. Okay, this piece is new to the collection, kind of new anyway. It's just going out on exhibit. And if you've been at the All Things Oz Museum before, you have not seen it. This is a Kent Drake original portrait painting of Andre in concert in his full WIZ regalia. And we're so excited to have this piece in the museum. It was donated to us by Andre de Shields, and it'll be on display in our newly remodeled and social distancing appropriate museum exhibit. So enjoy. Okay, I love this stuff. First, the Viewmaster slides. Everyone remember Viewmaster? It was great. You'd get it and you'd stick the little slide in there and then you'd click down on the button. Something satisfying about it. Hit that click, click, and then the next set of pictures would be up. So this is kind of cool. The A, B, and C disc. So the whole movie sequence is there, if you will. Starts with the snowstorm, and then Dorothy's new friends, and it goes all the way through Munchkinland, and he meets the Scarecrow, and ease on down the road. And then you meet the Tin Man, and you meet the old lion, the mean old lion. And then you see all of her friends. And then it goes to the second part where they meet the Wiz, and then they go for the witch, and then they come back to the Wiz and find their way home. It's a wonderful series. And then next to that, these are mini trading cards from Argentina. When the movie came out in 1978 in the U.S., it was released at box offices. And then when it came out in 1979 in Argentina, they had a promotion for the first 2 weeks. If you were a kid, 12 or under, and you went to the movie theater, you got one of these little collector packs of collector cards. There's an A, B, and C series, and we have the B and C in the museum, and you can see the C pack there on top, but those are the B cards behind it. And all three sets have different cards in them, and they're pretty cool. So you don't get to see those very much. And by the way, we're always looking for a Series A. We always like it when news crews come around to take pictures of our WIZ stuff, and it happens more than you would think, actually, every time there's a new production or something goes on or an anniversary happens. Hey, here's a great piece. This is the Ozstravaganza caricature. We did a 10-year series of these, and this one includes a signature of Ken Page down there in the bottom right. He was the Grand Marshal of our parade, and there's his autograph on there. Some other celebrities are on here, too. There's Gregory Maguire on the bottom left. There's Emma Ridley from Return to Oz, Princess Ozma in the center. There's Christiana Ricard, Ray Bolger's niece, over on the left. John Fricke on the top right, and Myrna Swenson, Munchkin by Marriage, right in the top center. Oh, and Ryan J. from Ryan J. Reviews, also in the top center. All right, here's another neat piece in our collection. This is the backstage pass from Ryan J. from the WIZ Live. When NBC did the WIZ Live, Ryan, of course, went to interview everybody, and so he brought us his backstage pass as a part of the collection. Next up, Dolly Pockets. This is the Dolly Pockets WIZ doll that comes with the Scarecrow and Woodman and Lion little finger puppets right in her vest. So it's kind of a neat piece, and we're glad to have that. And here's an autographed copy of the program from the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. They did the WIZ, and, it was a tough year for them that year because wildfires and the smoke from the wildfires was like closing down shows, and they couldn't do everything. But they did get the WIZ off the ground, and we're excited to have a cast-signed program from that as well. Okay, now we get into some of the good stuff. This is the new case. It's kind of dark. Doesn't look like much there, but that's the new case. So we took an old cutout in the wall, and we made it into a display case for the WIZ, specifically for the WIZ. And it's so exciting. Then we put some lights in it. We put some doors on it, locked the thing up, and there you go. There's the new permanent WIZ exhibit, and it's expanding even more onto the wall to the left of it. But it sits very prominently after you turn the corner out of the L. Frank Baum room. You can see it there at the end of that run. And then where we have it right now is on this wall, which is a viewing area. The viewing area is going away because of COVID-19 and seating and social distancing. And we've actually added where that Tin Man poster is right there is actually now the WIZ poster. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is kind of the stuff that dreams are made of, putting in a big case like this. So let's start right at the beginning and talk about some of the featured items that are in this case. Okay, this piece is a replica dress from the 1975 Broadway production. This was made by costume designer and replicator Sean Ryan, and it is a near identical replica of Stephanie Mills' dress from The WIZ on Broadway. The Wiz opened January 5th, 1975 at the Majestic Theater. There are plenty of photos of opening night that show off this dress, and Sean has done a wonderful recreation for us, which is one of the highlights of the Wiz case, actually. From there, we move on to our pedestal twins. We've got on the left the Wiz hat. This is from the national tour in 1982. That is Andre's hat from the national tour. Right above that, you can see the Wiz artwork that's just spectacular up on the wall. Dennis Coulis put that together from the original artwork. And then on the right are the original Emerald City glasses from the Wiz, again from the Broadway production that Andre gave us, and you saw some pictures of that earlier. And then here's a good close shot of that hat, just because it's kind of a cool piece of history. And there's our green glasses again. Love those, and I'm whizzing. Do 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 do. Y'all don't want me to sing. Y'all got it. All right. So on the top shelf here is a collection of playbills, the autographed album covers in the back there, and some cool stuff. Also, publicity photo over on the left. In the center, the top center, I guess the second shelf down, on the left is a Ken Page picture of him as the lion. In the center are 3 pictures of Andre. On the right is the Time magazine, I believe, article from 1975 about Andre. And then right in front of that, you can't see very well in this picture because it's folded up, but that's where the cast t-shirt and the backstage pass landed. On the third shelf down, or second shelf up, if you will, to the left are the Viewmaster cassettes from the Wiz movie, and then there's a VHS of the Wiz. In front of that are the B and C collection of those Argentine little mini collector cards. There's 8 in a pack, and we're still looking for a Series A. We haven't found one yet. Behind that is the Ease On Down the Road single. Album single, and then there's Ryan J's backstage pass. There's a couple different bracelets and things there from the Wiz Live. On the right is a cover that might be the Baum Bugle, actually. On the bottom there's a cast album from the Wiz movie right in the center. On the left is Ebony magazine. On the right again is either Life or Time. I think that's Time again, magazine with their feature spread. So it's a nice case, and it's got some other stuff that we've really kind of worked in there. There's a nice close-up shot of that center with the Wiz cards laid out there. Nice little area all around. And there's a real close-up of the Andre de Shields write-up there, talking about him being the Wiz, if you will. And a nice close shot of Ken Page's autograph sheet, which we love, made from the playbill from 1976 on Broadway at the Majestic Theater. Well, that's it. That's basically the tour of the Wiz exhibit. I'm sorry again that the Ken Page video did not work out for everybody, but there's our 3-sheet poster and the museum exhibit, and of course there's the big case. Love to see those here at All Things Oz. And before we go, I want to leave you with a couple things. First is a little more of the taste of the 40th anniversary celebration of the Wiz at Garvey Park in New York City. So enjoy this, and then we're going to come back and show you that our Wiz display travels a little bit too.
Sweet thing, let me tell you about the world and the way things are. You come from a different place, and I know you travel far. Now as you told me what it is, I am pointing for the wind. He's the man, he's the only one who can give your wish right to ya.
And here you go, right before COVID-19 pandemic closed down everything. Actually, starting March 1st, we had an exhibit, March through May, at the Walk-In Art Center in Pennsylvania. And we brought some of our collection from the Wiz to the Walk-In Art Center. And you can see here, we've got a couple of the DVDs, the movie and the live event. We've got a couple playbills that are signed, an autographed copy of an album, as well as our Wiz signage on the back. And this was the last traveling that we've done this year for anything. Of course, that was in the beginning of March, and 2 weeks later, we all shut down. So we do take it on the road sometime, because after all, if you've got the Wiz, you got to be able to ease on down the road. Thanks for joining us here. Everybody from the All Things Oz Museum, thanks you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Please welcome Ken Page.
Do what you wanna, but I'm here to stay, cause I'm a mean old lie. Go where you wanna, but don't get in my way, cause I'm a mean old lie. All you strangers better beware, this is the king of the jungle, yeah. And if I happen to let you slide, don't stand there running high. Yeah, caught my better side. Yeah, I'm a mean old lie.